to the one that's linked to his website, the one that we have, like his Kringles. Good morning. This is John Harder. I want to apologize for being late. If there were those of you waiting, and maybe you thought that I wasn't going to have a broadcast this morning, I do apologize for being late, and it's because of a phone call with my brother that I end up being late here, and it was a very heart-to-heart call that I truly appreciate. And so today I am doing broadcast number 507 or 108, broadcast number 108. And the title for today's broadcast, How to Generate Free Energy and Generate Cash Flow. All right. How to generate free energy and generate cash flow. Now, I'm going to, today I'm going to talk a little bit more about the free energy. You know, as we are working on these things and we're trying to get money together for creating the free energy generators, which are the serial generators that we would like to build. And that is because we call them serial generators because it's then because of the name of the person that came up with that invention back in the 50s. And it would be good if we could show people a unit and display how it works and all that. It is kind of like, as I had just said to my brother, that it is kind of like going to the bank and trying to borrow money to put siding on your house. So you have this house and you've done all the rest of the renovations and you have it. It's a very nice house now. You've done, but you need you still would like to put the siding on, and so you go to the bank and you say, look, I'd like to do this. It's going to cost me a few $1,000s, and I'd like to just get it looking nice. And the banker says to you, well, if you had the siding on there, then the house, then the house would have its nice look and everything. Then I'd let you have the money. And I'm like, dude, that's what that's why I need the money. But nonetheless, people need to pitch in for us to be able to do this. We need to have people understanding why we're doing this. And I'm going to go over a little bit of that again today as to why are we trying to create free energy for humanity? Why is that necessary? Well, the thing is, we have for so long been fed lies, always lies, and always something is being done to cover up mass crimes, and always something else is happening. In Chile, there is a person. There used to be a river where a nice area of people in Chile that used to enjoy life because they were near this nice sized river that was running through their community, and that was the supply of their water and so on. But what happened? Well, somebody decided that their operation, you know, they wanted to have an operation going, a production of avocados, and then have and then what they did is they actually channeled that water away from that river, and now they're using it to water their avocados. A mass production of avocados. Avocados take a lot of water, and so uh, if you are interested in knowing more about this and stuff, and to actually go and find some more details, I'm not going to give very much of details about it, but what I want to point out is that anytime something like that happens, where communities of people are being disturbed and their water taken away, or whatever it is, their resources are where they're being drained of their resources in order for uh, to support some sort of production or whatever it is, you can always count on the fact that it has sorrows written all over it. The fingerprints of sorrows are always all over that kind of thing. And so who is Soros? Who is this guy? Well, again, I'm going to let you do your own research as to who this guy is, because for me to spend my time giving you the information as to who he is and stuff, I don't think my time is spent very wisely. And of course, I would rob you of the joy of finding all of that for yourself, because this guy, he has been he's likely in his 70s, if not 80s, right now. And if you talk about if you talk about, should I say, I always seem to forget what it's called, but in the air where the jets fly and dump all the chemicals in the air, spread all the chemicals, chemtrails. You have Soros and fingerprints on that. If you know, if it's high production, like say farming, the way the farming industry has been going, where you can't have a small farming family farm anymore, and where people actually enjoy living, it's got the fingerprints of sorrows all over it. Anything that destroys the joy of living for humanity, it's got the fingerprints of sorrows on it. Okay, so I'm going to leave it up to you to go and find out who Soros is and what he is always up to. And of course, where do we find him? Where have we lately found him the most? It has been his mission to destroy Donald Trump. It's been Soros's mission to do that. And why? Well, because Trump is finally one person that has been voted in, not by Soros, not by the elite, not by the Rothschilds. And this is a very, very awkward monkey wrench in their operation, because they wanted Hillary on. And had Hillary been voted in as opposed to Trump, we would have Nazi Germany on a global scale right now. So for those who are anti-Trump, let me help you change your mind about Trump. Now, I'm not here to try and tell you that everything Trump is doing is good. I'm not saying that. I'm going to leave that up to you. You can decide that. But what I am saying is that the fact that Trump is in there right now is almost like saying that humanity has got a second chance. So why am I concerned about generating free energy? See, here's the thing. The Rothschilds, who are in control of the banking industry worldwide, they supply the money and they collect the taxes. They collect all that, and they collect most of the money that we pay for energy, whether it's fuel, filling up our vehicles, whether it's heating our houses, or whether it's the electricity that we use in our houses. Either way, that money goes and supports the exact thing that is killing us. That money supports the massive giants at the top of the pyramid, who have nothing but destruction in their mind. You got to be careful. Don't mistake these people to be human. They don't understand humanity. They don't understand joy. They don't understand living in peace and harmony. And they are doing everything they can to take all of that away from us too. To bring confusion, to bring disharmony, and to destroy life, basically. That's their aim. They aren't here to do anything but that. And if it were as easy as for us to just vote in the right person in government, and then everything would be good, then we would think that, okay, well, that's how we can go about it. But that's exactly the things that has gotten us to where we are, is by keeping on voting a different person into government, thinking that they're going to make things better. We have to wake up to the fact that they're not. Now, of course, let us realize, having said that, let us realize that I had just mentioned that Trump had been voted in as to give us a second chance, basically. And well, the history behind that is extraordinary, okay? Because that wasn't the plan of the elite that Trump would be in. And it is because that there were people in government in the US for many years who have been trying for many years to derail how the system was going. And this derailment actually basically began where they were finally able to start derailing it was basically in 2012, I believe. Forgive me, I don't have the exact timing. Well, they've been trying all the time, and they likely had little successes here and there anyway. But if you remember that earthquake in Haiti, there was a massive earthquake in Haiti a few years ago, and that was their final attempt to move their offshore money into a central banking system, which they had been robbing humanity of for over the space of quite a number of years. They had this massive amount of offshore, not offshore money, off books money. and they were trying to establish a central bank where they could put that in, and this is, of course, was to force upon humanity to be chipped, that we all be chipped, and nobody would have have a bank account that you had any control of. And but that was derailed, and so that is where we first began to sort of have a or at least where the system was derailed enough that we would have had more time. But let us come to grips with the fact that this is not going to go away unless we as a people stand up for ourselves and start creating the life that we want to live. What kind of a life do we want? Maybe that's a question that that many people, maybe we're not able to answer. I don't know, but let's ask ourselves that question. What kind of a life do we want? Well, to me, it's quite simple. I want the kind of a life where I'm not invaded by the government or anybody. I want a life where of freedom. I want a life where I don't have to worry about getting a ticket if I drive a kilometer over speed. I want a life where I don't have to go to the store to buy my milk. I want to be able to buy my milk from the farmer who milks the cows. I want to live in a community where I don't have to buy the packaged meat from the store, but I can just create my own sausages if I want. I can go to the neighbor, maybe the neighbor next door, maybe they're making sausages to sell. That's where I want to buy my sausages, not from the store with all the poisons in it for that they've put in for preservation, so that they have this long shelf life, and the poison in it to make you sick. You see, that's the kind of world I want to live in. I want to live in a world where if a family has 10 acres of land, they can very easily make a living off of it and enjoy life. They can have time to enjoy their time with friends and neighbors. They don't have to work hard every day, all day, just to get by. That's the kind of world I want. I want a world where we can grow our own healthy foods, and where we can have we go down the street or just down the road to buy our vegetables from the neighbor who grows them in their greenhouse during the winter, and in the summertime from the farmer who grows them. Or if I want a garden, then I'll just have a garden. And I want to have, I want to live in a world where I don't need to pay for things that don't need paying for. And what is that? Transportation. We don't need to pay for transportation. There's no need to have fuel, to put fuel in cars. There's no need for that. We can easily create cars that don't need it. Oh, you say, well, these are battery rechargeable? No, not those either. We can very easily create engines that don't burn anything. They just run for free. We can easily do this. That technology has been out before oil engines were ever built. Before engines that run on fuel was ever built. But you see, the manipulators of the world, and that were these giant reptiles that are on top of the pyramid, reptilians who aren't even actually human. They had to have control of it and guide things the way they wanted it, and enslave humanity. That's been their aim. That's their only aim, is to enslave humanity and to build a global prison and not only to do that, but to have us do it ourselves. So all of this, not getting along with each other and all of that, that's what we need to get away from. We need to begin agreeing, you know, working together. How can we possibly ever agree when that person isn't living the way I think he should live? How could we ever agree when you don't live the way I think you should live? We can't agree then, can we? If you know, if you live differently than I think you should be living, well, then we can't agree. Or maybe we should just drop all that. Maybe we should just drop all that and say, look, you know what? I appreciate you. In fact, I honestly, really, really love you. Why? Just because you exist. Just because you exist, I love you as a human being. And I want you to have all the freedom. I don't want to push anything on you. You do things your way. I'm not going to interfere. I'll let you do things the way you like to do them. It doesn't matter to me how you do them. How about that? How about that for freedom? How about that for peace and for getting along, right? So now, how do we deal with each other then? Well, first of all, when I come and make a deal with you, I don't just try to get the best deal I can for myself. I want a deal that's good for you too. You know, I want us to both be happy with the deal we made. Not where I just more for me, and then whatever. But that's your business, you know, whatever. How about having a genuine concern that we are both happy with the deal we made? That we can do it in a way where we both benefit the best, you know, in the best way. And you know what else? We've got to stop asking the government if we have permission to do something. It's far better to ask forgiveness than to ask for permission. First of all, we were never meant to ever have government. That was never meant to be. That was never meant to be. If that was meant to be so, then we would have had you know, we would have been born, you know, there would have been a president in the womb where we were formed. There would have been somebody there beating us and telling us what we can do, you know. But that was never meant to be, that we were manhandled by other people. That's not truth. That's not how life is supposed to be. We need to wake up to the truth that we are free. We are free. We think that we're not, but we are. So let's change our mind about that. Let's change our mind to the fact that we are free, and then start acting it. Start realizing that we are free. I have said it many times, and I know that others have too. What comes in my life, I have attracted. So if we have attracted all this bondage and all this animosity and all of this havoc that's going on in the world, well, then isn't it time that we start attracting peace and prosperity and unity, where we can truly enjoy each other and truly enjoy life? You know, just love everybody just because they exist, not because of not because, oh, well, you know what, that person actually did a lot of good to me, so that therefore I actually kind of love them, or at least if they would do this and that for me, yet then I would love them. How about loving them just because they exist? You see, that is how God does it. That's exactly how God does it. He loves us just because we exist. And so if we learn to do the same, then we learn to live for the benefit of all, not just ourselves, not for the, not for the how should I say, the bondage of all, but the benefit, the freedom of all instead. And so this is why free energy. This is why we are creating units to generate free energy. And we have I created a website that I wanted to, or that I am using for that, and I am very happy with the amount of interest that the site has been drawing. And I believe that it is only in the beginning stage. Well, I know it is, because the site is only, what, 2 months old maybe now. And there has been a lot of interest, and and some people have donated towards the project, which I am very grateful for. And now it is we are soon beginning to work on the project, which we are moving to Mexico now in just in about a week or so. Okay, it's in about a week or so that we are moving to Mexico, and there we will begin to work with this. And so I do ask for those of you, for TBCians who who want freedom. And I know there are very many people in TBC that have not taken any time to find out how life is. They have not cared enough, or should I say, I shouldn't say that I haven't cared. I think it's more, would be better to say that that they haven't tuned in as to how the world really works. They don't understand why the world is the way it is. And as we know, that most people live very busy lives, and so they probably haven't taken the time to spend time in the blog to read and find out what kind of a world we actually live in. And let me encourage those of you who are in TBC and don't actually know what's going on. Do yourself a huge favor. Do at least read the blog, read the information, find out what kind of a world we are living in. It's not going to give you nearly all the details, of course not, but it does give you a somewhat an understanding, at least enough that you can very easily then search further, as to gain more of an understanding of what is really going on. And this is why TBC was built, because to create a monetary system that we can use, so that we can stop using the money that has been provided by the banking cartels, where most people have the idea that their government makes their money. Well, that's not at all it. That's not at all true. These are people that actually have nothing to do with your government. All they're doing, well, I shouldn't say nothing to do, because they certainly are manipulating it, and they are making all the rules. It's not the rules; they don't come from your government. They come from the manipulators of the world, and the people that have control of the monetary system. And this is why, if we use TBC instead of the money that we are using now, that system will crumble and we will be free. Okay? That system will crumble and we will be free. This is why TBC was created. But even in TBC, if we don't stop using the energy and paying these people for the oil and the energy and all of that, then we're still feeding the leeches that off of our blood. Whereas if we start generating free energy, and and create engines that don't burn any fuel in vehicles and so on, then we truly become free. First of all, life will be much less expensive, and the money that we do use for living isn't going to go to the leeches that are feeding off of us. Okay, that's where we want to go. That's where we are going. And if you have, if you're watching this video, and if you're in tune with that idea of freedom for people, then I invite you, visit myfree.energy and johnharder.com, and you can create cash flow using TBC. You can create cash flow for yourself, help other people also, and with by getting involved in the free energy project, you can help us to make huge headways with generating free energy for people to use everywhere. Okay, so that is what this hangout is all about, and that is basically what every one of my hangouts is about. Well, I'm calling them hangouts, I mean broadcast, but either way. So you know what, I didn't pay much attention to what's going on in the chat. Mahalko88, thank you very much for joining me. I truly appreciate it. Again, Marjorie, thank you for moderating. And Crypto Review, Pedro, thank you so much for joining me. And I believe there are also others. There's likely Pete and Jacob, because I see there's 5 people here. So likely Pete or Jacob or both maybe are on. Thank you so much, guys, for watching me. I truly appreciate it. And I know that all of you are watching here. You are in tune with the idea of generating free energy and spreading the wealth of TBC. I know that you are all in tune with that, and it is my how should I say, my invitation to those of you watching this video who are in TBC and you've sort of sat just along the sidelines and haven't been doing much. Let me encourage you to help us spread the wealth of TBC, and you can easily do so by creating wealth for yourself, by just sharing TBC with others. And there's a step-by-step system that, if you aren't familiar with this step system, join johnharder.com. It's a free membership, and there inside I have all the steps. All you got to do is click the link cash flow, and there are all the steps is all set up for you to follow and make money with, create a cash flow for yourself in TBC. All right. Thank you so much for watching, and hope you have a wonderful day or evening or night or whatever it is you're approaching, and peace.